Bullshit, a raw.
Bull, give us time. Keep it moving, sister. Keep it moving.
No. I forgot about that. As Adam already told me to do. But that's why I forgot it.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Keeping all of this.
Day-to-day bullshit.
Bullshit.
A raw and real podcast where we tackle life's challenges with real stories, advice, and expert insights.
We ain't serious about nothing.
We ain't serious about nothing.
But it's real.
But it is real.
Keeping it real.
Yeah. So today's topic, overcoming society's bullshit need for conformity. Wow. Yeah, that should be interesting.
Let's break that down.
Our guests today are Dana Winston, artist, sewist, and lover of all things color and art, owner of Farm Girl Studios, teacher and host of arts and art classes, craft classes.
So, I love that. Sewist.
Yes, sewist. And she's also a councilwoman. And our secondary guest today, Jeff Winston, 62-year-old, finance consultant, farm owner, cheese expert, love cheese, musician, former club owner, former Board of Ed member, father, husband, and bucket list killer.
Wow.
So we have
Those
some
are a lot of gifts.
Bucket list.
Yeah.
Gotta give a cheer for that.
Bucket list.
We got.
They don't like. They say they don't say that no more.
No,
Bucket
it's
list.
hardly ever used.
Yes. I heard we went on our trip. There was like bucket list.
You know, I gotta give a shout out throwback to Jackie. I love how she put that emphasis on, like, you want to have, like, knocked all the things off your list before you die.
Yes.
You want to, like, die feeling like, you know. I
Like
did
you've
that.
accomplished
Live
all
full,
of
die
what you wanted.
empty.
Yes.
Yeah. That gets
That gets All right, Don.
yes.
So, conformity.
Conformity.
Where have we seen a lot of conformity happen, other than, you know,
The
boarding
J.O.B.?
school and
What'd you
the
say?
J.O.B. The job.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
We are.
I gotta put a pin in that one for later.
Yeah.
But you know,
There's
it's interesting. Conformity. I don't know. My knee-jerk reaction to conformity is very much.
yeah.
Very much. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. It's negative. It's definitely
Negative.
Negative because I think my first association is basically like kind of switching off the brain a little bit, like going along, like having somebody else make some decisions for you. What do y'all think?
Right.
I feel that. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, okay, I'm gonna get a little funny here. Women, you know, I think women tend to be leaders.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I would agree with that.
And you know, sometimes we don't like to conform to what, you know, is going on at the time.
No.
I don't know what's happening, but I like it. This is good.
Conforming is like
Let's keep going down this road.
Yeah, really.
Good.
women leadership. Yes. Are we ruling with an iron fist? Is that the conformity that we put on our
But I
families?
think sometimes women have a bad reputation that sometimes if they're in charge, they be, oh God, you got a woman boss?
Oh, yeah.
You know, she's on her period or you know, all kinds of stuff.
Wow, I'm glad you said it.
I did.
No,
What about when we don't get our periods anymore, though? You know, like, what do we say then?
well, then you say,
Charge of the Night Brigade.
Yeah. Then there's a whole different spin on that. So,
There is.
just a quick question I wanted to throw out there to you. Having been parents, worked both in the private and public sector, what are your thoughts about this?
good day.
How so? As far as when you said both in the public and private sector, you mean because just from our experience with the organizations?
Well, you're both parents, and you've worked in these both the private and the public sector. And how has this affected your family, or what are your thoughts about working in those sectors while having a family, and how's that affected you?
Where do I begin? Obviously, I'm the public sector person. Well, we both worked in the public sector. My private sector life kind of left the building after the twins arrived many years ago. But in the public sector, you know, everything you say and do when you're speaking with the public or just being exposed is fodder to be twisted and turned into something that will suit whomever's needs to feel about you. People, I talk about this all the time in my art classes, as far as I say, you want to elevate yourself, you want to evolve, let's learn art. I try to instill in people this awakening of this creativity that they were born with, but the rat race has tamped down over time. And I talk about, I don't know if the right word is elevation, because that's insulting to people who aren't doing it sometimes, or triggering anyway. But maybe evolving is a better word. So whenever you're
I like
evolving or taking a moment to evolve and become something different, there's always a sector, and you alluded to it earlier, Dawn, like it is individually based as far as conformity's safety, right? Some people feel very safe in a conformed space. And these are the people who tend to get really triggered when you decide to move out of your current space and do something different. And in the public sector, you already did that, because you did something that was pretty brave in running for office or stepping up and leading or doing something for others that others wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable with. My husband and I, we do not, I think we piss people off because we don't wait for permission.
I love it.
And that's something that the conformists get really upset with.
Of course.
We'll see a need and we're just like, and I'm not going to, like, this isn't a brag sheet. I'm not going to talk about what we've done, but we'll see a need in the community and we don't ask for permission. We're like,
do it.
Do we have the means to help them? Can we do it? And what can we do? And so, yeah, that's kind of things that really upset people. And they think we have this secret agenda, where we're doing it for something else other than the reason that we're really doing it. And
that has to be frustrating.
It's more, doing well or doing good for the community is born out of our, our kids. We both come from, jump in anytime, Jeff, but we both come from, we had,
Jeff is like, I'm trying.
Our prior spouses from our prior marriages were not necessarily physically or emotionally available for us. So when we came together and met, we had this deep appreciation for each other, right? Because we lived as single parents, even though we were married, because of our spouses, respective issues. And
that's
so
hard.
when we got together, our children were a little bit damaged from that, right? So both his and mine. And what we felt was that we need to model good behavior.
Yeah.
And it became this thing. And so we're like, we got this new philosophy. We're going on and on. We're doing this. We're actually have like almost a mission statement for our marriage and our family, but we don't have one. But we work through this philosophy, and man, does it piss people off.
What do you think?
So angry.
What do you think that's
And I'm
about?
not sure
Like, why is that pissing them off?
Can I jump there? Or you're
Absolutely.
All right, yeah, thanks. I think it pisses them off. Look, I'll take a step back. I like the topic of conformity. When you have a majority of any group or any society of any world that really subscribes to conformity, you then limit your possibilities. Conformity stifles progress.
Come on, son.
And
that is so good. Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing. You can only have so many chefs in the kitchen.
Right.
But when nonconformity is shunned upon, it's almost an admission of, I'm not going to use weakness on the other side. I think it comes from fear. And we know,
I agree.
We know that when we just stop for a second and look at it pragmatically, you end up with some really interesting things, like African American presidents, like new innovations at Facebook. But how long did it take? Even to have integrated schools. And that was all the break in conformity. So, there was an interesting song that came out, and this is probably was my inspiration. And I think I've brought this. There was a song a long time ago called Sunscreen, and it was back in the late 90s. And one of the lines in it alluded to some of the most interesting people I know in their 40s don't know what they want to do with their life. And when I heard that, I'm thinking, wow, what does that really mean? And what it means is take the chances for us. This isn't for anybody, but don't condemn people to take risk, take chances. I mean, at 39 years old, I had a successful career as a financial advisor. And I said, how fun would it be to be a 39-year-old Jew, open up a 15,000 square foot nightclub that's Black and Hispanic upscale based?
Hey.
You know,
Awesome.
So-
Love that.
yeah. So who does that?
Was that
An
here in
idiot.
Jersey?
You know, I'm not going to say there's not a danger to nonconformity, but boy, man, for us, it just makes it so much more fun. And you know, and last I'll close on this part, but look, nobody's born with DNA to be a CPA. I wasn't born with the DNA to be a financial consultant. Dana wasn't born with the DNA to be an artist. But there's a difference between what you do and who you are.
And
sure is.
Amen.
Good. That's good.
That was good. That was
I
good.
rarely get that in my house, so thank you. Yeah, they refuse to pray to me, but but you know, if you can find out who you are, then you can look out the window and say, "Welcome to Disneyland." I mean, everything out there is a possibility.
Hey,
Right.
You preaching.
And Dana launching into art classes. Dana has a pretty tough road behind her, but that doesn't stop her. But how many people stop on some event in their life and stay on that point forever? And there it is. I hit a trigger.
Oh
Go
yeah,
ahead.
no growth
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
I think people who've been through some shit are also evolve more quickly to a place of nothing's guaranteed in this life. Problems are going to come all the time. Life is short. Tomorrow's not promised. What are you going to do next?
Yeah. And sometimes if I can just jump in here, Dana, sometimes, getting punched in the face is the best thing that can happen to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Boom,
Absolutely.
boom.
Like everyone says, it's a character moment. It is. It's not even character. It's personal growth.
Yeah.
And you get perspective. And you're reminded, like the death of a loved one or a sickness or an illness. You quickly realize how fleeting it all is.
Yeah, and also it reminds me of what you said about evolution and art, Dana, that these are opportunities to perhaps become a deeper version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Or you know what? She even said evolution.
Time's going to pass. How are you going to spend it?
Elevation.
Exactly.
Because I'm just going to interject too. So Tuesday, they know I quit my job.
All right, Dawn.
It was conformity, and so I refused. You're not having any of that kind of control over me.
Yeah, you've been complaining about that job for a long
time.
Yeah,
Very
happy for you.
We want you to take your employees and they have to sign in and sign out, and when they come in,
They still do that?
Who
does that?
does this?
No one does that.
Conformity, so I refused
It's like clock in, clock out.
all of that.
That's total bullshit.
So
I
said,
call
I'm a
bullshit
rebel.
on that.
Right.
Well, and Dawn, you're right,
Yes.
because that level, it lacks humility.
Yes.
It
Yes.
lacks civility. It definitely stops progress.
Yes.
It sure does. Like at
It's
our
so
age, come on, do we really need that?
look, it's so funny to listen. It's so funny to listen to people as they react to the things. And I'm not holding myself out there. I quite frankly don't give a shit what people think of me.
Amen.
And I think that's been evident. Yeah. And
From way downtown.
And it's not because I'm holding something over people. Is that if I have to stop and conform to putting duct tape and Band-Aids on everybody's feelings because our activities make them feel inadequate, that's too fucking bad. And I'm not going to placate them and stop what Dana and I do. I will never list out the things that we do behind the curtain, but I'll tell you what, we run a mantra in our house is protect what you value. And that's that we put it on our
beautiful.
blackboard in our kitchen. When anything gets tough, protect what you value and never go against the family that we strip right out of The Godfather. And if those two simple philosophies then dictate what we do next, choices become quite easy.
I love that.
Am I reckless at times? Probably. I probably am. Do I piss a lot of people off? Oh, I know I do. But don't let my truths, be converted into some condemnation of critical thinking.
Yeah.
That's not my fault. I'm sorry you feel that way. to go back to school or go to church. Go find your own peace.
Yeah.
But don't blame that on me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like so nuts. We live in such a weird world. Of participation trophies and hugs. Go produce something.
Yeah.
Well, I think, Jeff, you mentioned it before, this idea of insecurity, and I think for somebody to have a knee-jerk reaction of your, clearly I can hear both of your energy and passion, and I think it's just great. And, in the context of, let's say, an ideology, if we're talking about conformity again, I feel like the less secure somebody is in that ideology, the greater the fragility. Right?
Yeah.
So they're going to interpret anything that goes against it as an attack, as opposed to if you feel like this is my ideology, but I believe in it, it's basically impervious to attack because that's just what you believe. And then you can have this free exchange of ideas.
Yeah. But
you're right. Because if I see somebody who doesn't want to do these extra steps, I don't think badly of them.
Right.
I would go to Dana and say, how can we help them? Because it doesn't look like they want to go do this other thing, which I'm cool with. We're going to set an extra Thanksgiving plate. We're going to do all of these things. It's all right. I'm not here to judge anybody in that capacity. But boy, oh boy, you say something stupid, you have entered in my dojo. We'll talk that through.
Ultra combo.
Too, it's a crazy word. I don't like to throw it out there, but you have a lot of other families. I admire what you guys have done as a family. Especially with your words and your thoughts, which would help your kids and your vision that you have for your family. I'm just impressed, and I'm kudos to you for that, definitely, especially for a family. And I think a lot of it's too jealousy. Who has this kind of mission in their family? But you've learned and you've grown from that. And when people see that, they'd be like, who the hell this family think they are?
That's what it is.
That is what it is. And that's what we get back with social media. We have a couple of people in town, don't do what they're saying. They're leading you to slaughter. They have this agenda. I'm like, my agenda? Are you kidding me? Wow. I don't have. And Dawn, back to something you just said in terms of imparting this from Dana and I on our kids. We've taken a philosophy at this point that we no longer offer our kids advice. We offer them wisdom. And if they choose not to take it, good luck. I hope it works. But I'm in no position to advise anybody to do anything.
I love that.
And I don't hold myself higher than anybody else. And listen, Dana and I have done a good job creating 5 little critical thinkers. And
beautiful.
we cross our fingers and hope it works.
Well, wisdom always works, I think, because they don't want to hear advice anymore at a certain age.
No.
And it's just, share your life lesson or your wisdom, whatever. Give them an illustration of that. Either way, you can tell them not to touch the stove, but until they do and figure out how it burns,
that's right.
Then they're,
Yeah.
So it's
hopefully it's one trial learning.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully it's one trial learning is right. Yeah. But
not
you two are in
some of them like to touch that stove over
a few times.
That's another show.
How about that?
That's another show altogether. Another topic. But you guys are also in the public eye all the time. So I think scrutiny has not been on, the and they're focusing on the wrong things too. It's really amazing that people twist things around like that.
It's good. I don't mind it. It's okay.
I mind it.
My wife does. My wife takes it very personally.
Yeah, it's hard not to. It's hard not to sometimes.
In my heart of hearts, I know that Dan and I are doing what we believe to be the right thing.
Right.
But we remain open-minded enough to say, if what we think is right is wrong, either tell me why, but don't just say it's wrong. And people are full of shit. They can't come to the table with anything quantifiable other than they're upset that we're either saying or doing something. That's not a good enough reason. You got to bring more than that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Bring your forks and your knives to the table.
Yeah, because it's going to be a meal.
Yes, it is.
Right.
I mean, I think, if you take a step back, Jeff, and say, well, why am I doing this? Or why am I saying this? So, for example, if somebody's being critical, is it to increase, awareness? Is it to initiate a dialogue? Or is it to just land a punch? Is it to just bring somebody else down? I feel like you're not on my level and it's making me feel like shit. So I'm going to drag you down to my level.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of that.
I think that's part of it, but I would turn that question upside down. And Dana and I constantly wrestle with this over maybe too much wine and conversation.
No such thing.
Where we'll say, why do we do this? What's the purpose of us doing this? What's the purpose of putting myself out there and trying to fight the good fight? Or Dana, stepping into a role, whether it be popular or unpopular. I mean, Dana, all too often, Dana is much better at doing the best of all things all of the time. I'm a little bit more, I'm a little bit more punchy, a little bit more assertive, a little bit more of a fighter. And what I hate is watching her have to answer for my activity where, she's being demoralized, demeaned, marginalized. For what? For what? And by the way, we're talking about local government here. Keep our roads paved, our water clean, maybe throw a soccer league in now and then, and you've done a good job. We're not creating borders. We're not legislating abortion. Oh, no. It's much simpler than that. Make
That's
sure the
also a
traffic
different
lights
show.
work and stop being an asshole. And that, and that's where we are. It's weird. It's just so weird. People so strange.
Do you feel like when you first started out on these new ventures that you've both set out on, when you first got in, has the landscape changed greatly, or was it always that way and you're just finding out that it was like that? Or
Go ahead, Day. You got this.
It's far more intense than I ever imagined. You first, when you start out, like when I decided I was going to run for office, the people I firmly expected full support from were not there.
Wow.
They didn't show up. And then others come, right? Like the universe sends you what you need. Others, like I made some wonderful new friends and new connections and relationships. And during that time. So, it's just a very strange, very, very strange place to be. We, after I got elected, I'm sure it's public knowledge at this point, but there was an FBI credible threat against mine and my the mayor and the council's life.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And that phone call, I was I was with a few of my colleagues at a senior center celebrating Valentine's Day with them. And I got this phone call, and it said police chief. And I said, I'm worried about my husband and my kids. I'm like, what the hell is this? Why is he calling me?
Which is a reasonable fear, by the way. I just want to put that out there. Good. Yeah, I said, which is a reasonable fear to be worried about something I did.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I worried about everyone's safety. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And he says, he told me, he said, there's a credible threat. And I got off the phone with him, and I had to be, I was there to entertain wonderful, beautiful seniors who were just having a great time, eating chocolate and Valentine's Day. And it was hard, it was kind of, I had to swallow everything and say, okay, I'm just going to be really cool right now and just finish this thing that we're doing. And I got in the car, and suddenly for me, everybody around me started becoming someone who might want to hurt me.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And
that's rough.
And I'm at a light, and I know there's certain cars for people that said these things. So I'm scanning constantly for that car, around when I'm out and about. So it was terrifying.
Wow.
It was terrifying because, part of me was like, the chances of that happening are, they know now, so they're going to do something. They're going to protect us. But that was on the heels of a Sayreville woman, councilwoman, being shot in Sayreville.
Oh my God.
And so it was very real. It felt like this could really happen. And so I don't even know where we started with this, but that kind of stuff is just, I didn't expect that. And do I think it's different from 10 years ago? Probably.
Yeah.
Is it getting worse and worse? I think people are just becoming more and more brazen with
their
what they want to concoct to tear you down or make you look bad. And again, it's so like Jeff said, it's so weird because I don't want to be a congresswoman. I don't want to be mayor. I have no plans to do anything other than what I'm doing right now. I'm not trying to convince the public of something that I'm not. I'm just trying to do my best and help out. And then when I'm done, I'm done.
Wow.
Right.
This is it.
Wow.
This is as far as my aspirations go, other than to help people. And it's just really weird because people assume that I'm that, or my husband is that person that has these, these dark, sinister agendas and plans for our town.
Ignorance.
But also,
I don't know how I got to there, but
But in terms of conformity, I think the footnote to that on the subject of conformity is that as your days of a councilwoman perhaps get closer by choice, when you talk about conformity, I mean, we're not young adults anymore. Now Dana's embarked on yet a new reinvention where she's teaching art to I don't even know what the description would be.
Disabled community.
Okay.
The disabled community.
Okay.
Disabled community adults. You know what? That's great. That's great. You know, we're not walking down in the Milltown Parade saying, "Look at us. We teach art to disabled adults."
Yeah,
Please, honor us like a Pope visit. But no, it's better than that. Because then we do this thing at our table. You talk about conformity. You do this thing that we do occasionally called happy and crappy. So in the rare moments that we could gather the flock and we sit around, we go around the table, as corny as this sounds. And what made you happy today? What made you crappy? But more importantly, when it comes to conformity is, but what are you going to do next? And that's where the break in conformity comes, is that people don't have a plan. Too many people. Some do. But a lot of people, like Dawn, you said you left your job. I'm sure you had a reason broader than you didn't like checking in and out. I bet somewhere in your head, you're thinking about your next move.
Yes, I did.
And it may be this podcast. It may be a national television spot, or you know what? You may invent the new iPhone. Who the hell knows? But I know you.
Honey.
Yep. You got this, Don.
I got big plans. You better believe it.
That's right.
Got a big
there you go.
And that's a great segue into Dawn is announcing the iPhone 27 right now. Which
that's fantastic.
Big things are coming my way.
Yeah, you planted in your armpit. No, it's
that was
really great. You're gonna love it. But that's the sort of thing when it comes to conformity. And quite frankly, I think Dana's non-conformity makes our life that much more fun.
Yes,
I think it keeps us young.
Of course it does.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love it. I mean, a few years ago, I was like, what? Bucket list. I did theater when I was younger. I said, I need to do another play. I ended up like a third lead doing One Flew Over this Cuckoo's Nest in East Brunswick.
So I was like,
there's that.
You were wonderful.
Thank you.
What year was that?
But Dana does these things as well. I mean, Dana, as an example, COVID hits, everybody's freaking out. It's in the cold season. People are food insecure. Dana says, let's drag the grill, throw it on the driveway, and we're going to serve anybody who wants to come up and grab a meal.
Boom.
We didn't advertise it. I didn't look for you. We didn't look for United Waste. But this isn't about accolades. That's not why we do it. We don't care about that.
Yep.
Oh,
for us, it actually, quite frankly, it's a little selfish because it's really fun. And we had a great time, and we had all the kids on the driveway, which never happens. And everybody was there, and everybody was delivering meals around town. We just had a blast.
I'm sure. That sounds like a really great service that you did.
No, it's always, I think it's a wonderful thing to give.
Yes.
We forget about that. And I think you two as a couple, I can't stop praising you enough.
Yeah.
I'm not married. If I had 100, we were going to have a mission at our table too. But you should be proud of yourselves.
Yes, definitely.
I hope you
Absolutely.
are. Like I said, I'm admiring you guys, for what you're doing. Your kids are so fortunate to have you as parents.
Definitely.
We're going to have you over for dinner, Dawn.
Can we bring these now?
I would love that.
Bring me over.
We love that.
Yeah. And we can
we have them in a box here. Kids, get out of the box. Dawn wants to talk to you.
I'm going to bring my son so he can feel the vibes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm loving this. I don't even want them to stop talking.
I know, really.
Yeah, seriously.
That means you got to come back.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all that
we
means.
have, there's season 2.
Yeah.
And if I could just ask you both, moving forward, if you could imagine, one thing that maybe could help people move a little bit more in this direction of nonconformity, of, thinking outside the box, really discovering who they are, as opposed to the opposite path, which is conformity. What would it be?
Right.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go first on that, Dave, if you don't mind. I think, look, Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. All right. So
What a shot.
So, it comes down, what I would recommend people do, if they care and believe that a little tweak might make them feel happier, different, excited, accomplishing, any of those things. Set a short-term, mid-term, and long-term goal of 3 items. You don't need a 30-item bucket list.
Right.
You need 3. One of them might be, I had a friend recently said, at 59 years old, I just reconnected with religion. I think I missed the point when I was younger. And my goal now is to really understand the Bible. I was like, well, that's really, really cool. I think that's great. That's a short-term goal. That's going to bring. I hear other people say they want to do this charitable thing, perhaps, or they want to learn to play guitar. I listen to Howard Stern. Howard Stern, 70 years old, just started playing guitar. He's taking guitar lessons. But the day that you stop because I'm too old, I should have, I could have done it. That's bullshit.
I wish I could. Yeah. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Right.
Yeah.
That would be what I would suggest. Short-term, midterm, long-term, pick a thing, go do all of those 3 things.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Get your put your toe in. That's it. Just
come on, wifey poo.
Yep.
Dana.
Yep.
Still there, Dana?
I totally forgot the question. I was listening to him.
Just quickly, I was just saying, what's a little word of advice or inspiration that you could say to encourage people to move more in this direction of nonconformity or sort of becoming your better self, your more authentic self, let's say, as opposed to moving down the path of conformity?
I would say be brave. Just gear up and know that that you're going to piss people off, and that your supporters are not going to be who you think they are.
Oh, right. That's a good one.
Look around you. If if you're feeling nervous or afraid of trying something new, look around you and you're I have a dear friend who's newer in my life. She's actually someone who came into my life after others left because I was either pissing them off or just not who they wanted me to be anymore. And she is a support person beyond. So I have my husband who lets me operate fearlessly in this world, and then I have this best friend who is absolutely like 1,000%. She'll tell me the hard truths, but I appreciate that. Slap me in the face with the truth. Tell me where I stand. But she's fantastic. So that would be my advice. Surround yourself with people who and have a proven track record of not tearing you down or feeling jealous about you, or just like with the passive aggressive, like better you than me.
Oh, God.
That kind of crap. Yeah. Like somebody who's genuine and has done it themselves, so they know that there's like that it's not always easy to become something different or try new things.
You're right.
So I have a parade of teenagers coming through here. I apologize.
Well, we can't thank you both.
Just surround yourself with good people, and again, they're not going to be the people you thought they were going to be. Yeah. But if you open your heart and your mind, man, you find some really good new ones.
Absolutely.
I love that.
I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, I've had a few recycled friends in the past couple of years too. It's they've left, but I'm so much better off for
Felicia's.
it. Exactly.
Okay.
Bye, Felicia's.
Bye, Felicia's.
Yeah, they didn't fit in my life anyway. And I was bending over backwards to help them all the time, and it was like, fuck, what am I getting from this? Yeah. Other than
question.
I mean, well, not that I wanted anything back, but they were just assholes,
Yeah, I kept you
take advantage.
You and your husband as friends. I mean, what the hell? And you're a new friend. What the hell? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Yeah. Wow.
Listen, we have to thank this. I don't even want them to go, but I thank you.
I know. Thank you so much. It's so inspirational, really, listening to you both.
Absolutely. Blessings.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Part of this.
We were lucky to have you both. It's really been.
Yes, we are.
By the way, we've been lying the whole time. No, I'm kidding. No, it's all.
Wow.
So it's all bullshit.
No, sure.
Yeah. So
it's all bullshit.
They were damn good. I can tell you that.
Damn good bullshit. They just fed us, right?
Yes, they did.
Wow, I bought it.
No,
okay.
That's true.
I'm an advocate of this bad boy.
We know. That's awesome. Well, thanks again, both Dana and Jeff, for coming on today and hanging out with us.
I love it.
And we're going to take you up on that dinner, by the way.
I was going to say, I really want to play Happy and Crappy with you both.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, me too. Me too.
You gotta play.
Me too. Happy and crappy. That's good, though.
It's
I
good.
like
No,
that.
this has been great. You guys did great.
God bless.
Keep going with the show. It's fantastic. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
Lessons.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Thank you. I
Thanks,
love that
guys.
too.
Wow.
I really, really, really did.
Now it's funny. They mentioned happy and crappy. So my sister used to play this game where every year we do them. We used to all get, oh my God, here she comes. She would make up this fabulous box and she would put questions in there. We would like, damn. And we had to pick out a question and we'd all have to do it. She does it every year. We all hate it.
Wow.
Still been doing it for the last 15 years. And she'll say, describe your relationship with, your mom. Now she
Oh,
know our
God.
mom's not here. So we're all crying.
Oh.
And then she'll say, well, Anthony, what is your life going to be like from now? So that kind of stuff. I love
What does it look like?
Yes.
Yeah. What does your life look like in 5 years, 10 years?
Yes. So that when they said that, okay, that's getting away from conformity.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many people still have dinner with their family?
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's rare.
So I think we have to look at both sides of things.
Totally do.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And speaking of looking at both sides, if I can just interject. No. This is a good one.
Oh, no.
You're
What do we
scared.
come in here?
What do you mean you're scared?
I haven't even hit the deck yet with this thing.
Go ahead, Mr. Adam.
Adam.
Coach Adam.
Yes,
Go ahead.
Coach Adam. Thank you. So our younger son is at Brandeis University. Shout out to Brandeis.
Okay.
And my wife Lisa and I were at Brandeis last weekend for family weekend, and we attended 7 amazing lectures. I mean, they put together some really great lectures, but there was one in particular that this episode made me think about because it was all about having challenging conversations both inside and outside of the classroom. And this one professor, I got to give him a shout out, Associate Professor Duran Wallace. He's a cultural sociologist of race, ethnicity, and education. Such a brilliant dude. But, he was talking about how, and we alluded to this during the episode, it can be harder for kids in college, to feel free
Yep.
to voice a differing opinion, to voice an opinion that they feel like, what if I'm the only one in this classroom who feels this way? Or what if it's not PC,
Oh, yeah. They don't
or
want to
getting
make everybody uncomfortable.
canceled, Anyway, this associate professor was talking about how he just cultivates this space in his class, and he'll purposely bring up issues, like he puts it in the syllabus when he's planning it. He's like, oh, this is going to be one that like gets people going, and he makes it really clear, this is a safe space where we want to hear differing opinions. We want you to disagree, but we keep it civil. This is a place where we can talk.
We can have discussions that are definitely safe, and
It's not
we
about
can disagree.
you're the devil because you said
this.
this kind of all or nothing, where where do you go from there with that all or nothing thinking? It's like you're either fully on board with everything I believe in,
Yeah.
or
You're
I
not.
can never talk to you.
Yes.
No, that's not even.
It's not the way we wrap it up.
No.
No?
Well, that was a good one.
Hell yeah.
So, when can conformity be good for society? A healthy amount of conformity can lead to increased social harmony on both interpersonal and social levels. For instance, a society in which all members collectively agree to conform to a certain driving-related behaviors, like driving on the right side of the road, perhaps, or yielding to pedestrians. We all know that we should do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do that in New York, but we'll experience.
Ultra combo.
But yielding to those pedestrians, we will experience fewer traffic accidents than a society without such agreements. Can you imagine? I mean, I think of all those Mr. Magoo drivers out there.
Oh, yeah. It always ended well for Mr. McGrew, but
We pray for them.
yeah.
Yeah, and I have a question for you two.
All right.
Do you agree there is a place for conformity? If so, where does that lie? Where's the limit? Where's that limit?
Dawn.
Where does that lie? Where's that limit of conformity?
You know what? I have to say, I'm going to go back to what I said in the beginning. Individualism. Now, do we have certain areas and places for conformity? Yes. I'm gonna use something very stupid right now.
Or simple.
Would you allow your son, oh, grandma, I gotta pee, and just bring out his pee and pee anywhere?
No.
Mercy.
Okay, I know that's weird, but conformity, right?
Mercy.
There's a place and time for everything.
Well, I have to say, I've been to concerts, and it's been like a dark bush behind the stadium. No one can see me, but man, it's happening. I mean, it's not.
So it's happening.
Yes. No, yeah, that's not what I was talking about.
He went left, y'all. This is day-to-day
Bringing it back.
bullshit.
Bringing it back.
This is day-to-day bullshit.
Bring it back. Pom. Go home. Come on,
Okay,
terrific.
well, so to answer your question, I
me.
think, if you let the principal guide you of, what's kind of like the vision or the main idea behind this, talking about traffic safety again, like, yes, there are certain things we need to all
Yep.
Otherwise,
conform to. Yeah, we
the
do
Wild
all need
West
to
on the roads.
right,
Yeah, that would be
stop
crazy.
at a red light. I don't think that red lights are optional, but although a lot of people.
Oh, no, they
neighborhoods
do, especially in East Brunswick, man. They run those damn red lights.
on a daily basis. My wife and I are like, oh my god, do
Did he
people
just
just
fix the
not
record? Yeah,
stop
they
at
do.
red lights anymore?
They don't.
We don't conform to that.
But yeah, so I think, the danger of conformity is when that idea of, vision or sort of like higher level thinking is removed. And it's just like, I am a robot and I do, what I want to do. Yeah, that's where, you have to keep.
That's just anarchy. Personal anarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan of anarchy.
No.
But when I was a teenager, I loved to draw the anarchy sign on everything.
Yeah.
But
No. What do you think, Cece?
I think that, yes, some conformities are needed in place just to keep everyone safe on the road or certain little situations.
Yeah.
But otherwise, everyone should really step outside of the box. When I was a teenager, I explored everything. I thought nothing. I didn't care what anybody thought
Yeah.
at all.
I can attest to that. I witnessed it. Yes.
I mean, I did my own shit, and then I remember my mother got a letter in the mail. Your daughter is a natural born leader. We don't know if this is a good thing. She was
Oh my God, that's too good.
and the school wasn't, not a conformist school. They were pretty relaxed. I mean, they let us wear whatever we want, dye our hair, do whatever. But some
Okay,
elements.
if I can just interject, I went to English class with a snake in my hair, a live snake. No joke.
Yeah, and they
So-
probably didn't make you take it out.
No,
either.
Mr. Durning was very cool. Shout out to Mr. Durning.
Oh yeah, Mr. Durning.
We can call him Steve now, but it just seems wrong. Mr. Durning.
Oh God, you're right. It does. It is Mr. Durning. There's no way it's
my
ever gonna be
face?
Steve.
Was that?
Put a snake on.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And
This is not uncommon. Of when we went to school, there were shenanigans beyond any. It was college, really.
Yo,
it was
totally.
college, but high school.
Was that college?
No, it was high school, but it was
high school. Yeah.
but it was college
High
like.
school of performing arts?
Yeah.
Cold.
And I was not, there were people so much more out there than I was. Me with the snake in my hair was
Can the
like, normal.
applications fees for the High School of Performing Arts be increased?
They were
Those snakes.
very increased. You wouldn't believe what the cost to go to the school I went to is now.
Okay, so we're just going to close it.
Cool. Thanks for joining us.
I got to tell you something. I can't
What?
wait for the next episode.
Me
That's all I'm gonna
neither.
say.
Bye. Bye.